shut your water on and off, and sooner or later it's doomed. We shut the door on.
Let the record show at 6 o'clock. We'll call our meeting to order. Here's the roll call, please.
Jim Whitaker,
Here.
Linda Barnhart,
Present.
Eric Goff,
Here.
Buchanan Norton,
Here.
Tim Lewis,
Present.
Dan Gant, Nick Deal,
Here.
Derek Smith.
Yeah, Derek's gonna be a few minutes late.
Okay. Is he coming in person or is he joining us with Zoom?
He's coming in person, I
Okay.
think.
Alrighty. Thank you.
I'm gonna want the door jar.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda.
Move to approve.
Thank you. Motion by Mr. Goff to approve the agenda.
Second.
Second by Mr. Lewis. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the agenda is as presented. Do we have anyone to speak into the Sunshine Law?
I don't see
Laura
any
doesn't
written
see
down.
No? Okay, there's no one to speak under the Sunshine Law. Okay, next item on the agenda is approval of the meeting minutes.
Move to approve.
Thank you. Motion by Mr.
Second.
Mr. Lewis, is that you?
Yes, it was.
Okay, you broke up on it. So I have a motion by Mr. Goff, second by Mr. Lewis to approve the meeting minutes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are approved. First item
Abstain due to absence.
Oh, I'm sorry, we have one abstention. Mr. Whitaker, due to absence. Okay, the first item on the agenda, which is a public hearing, is for Spring Mills car sale.
Alright, so the first public hearing tonight is a request for sketch plan advancement. The project is Spring Mills Car Sales, file 2009-236. The developer is D Squared Properties and the engineer is Piedmont Design Group LLC. It's located in the Flying Waters District, tax map 1, parcel 10, subparcels 4 and 5. The property is located on the west side of Williamsport Pike, about a half a mile south of Spring Mills Road. That's Hammond's Mill Road, 901, and 0.14 miles north of Langston Boulevard. The project proposes commercial lot on 1.71 acres to be served by public water and sewer. The developer requested an exception to section 705 to not install sidewalks, as there are no sidewalks currently in the vicinity, and the applicant was informed that the exception request was not required. County Engineer Dirk Stansberry issued a letter of completion on November 16, 2020, and stated that the sketch plan meets the requirements to advance the preliminary plan stage. The sketch plan meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends advancement of the sketch plan to the preliminary plan stage.
Thank you. Do we have anyone to represent the project, Spring Mills car sale? Come forward, please, and state your name.
Good evening, Madam President, President of the Planning Commission. I'm Mike Wiley with Piedmont Design Group, representing the applicant, D Squared Properties, Inc. Also with me this evening is the president, Michael Diver, behind me. What we're looking to do is advance the project preliminary plat to construct a new facility for used car sales. Mr. Diver's business Fast Lane is actually on the lot just north of this project. He wants to develop facility. And so we're going to improve, it's currently a vacant lot that we're using for partial sales and improve the new street. We're actually doing some dedication of the street and building the sales display area and a new car sales facility and associated public water and sewer and private stormwater management project. And we just respectfully ask for your approval to advance this to the preliminary plan stage.
Thank you. Okay,
Happy to answer any questions you may have.
this is a public hearing, so anyone who has questions or comments regarding the project, now's your opportunity to make those known. I'd ask that you come forward, state your name, and any comments you might have regarding the project.
There are 2 people logged in online, and I've allowed them to speak, so if they unmute their phones and comment on this, they're able to do so.
Can they hear you?
Yes.
2 people wish to speak regarding public hearing. Please state your name, your address, and your comments that you might have. Do we know?
They may be for a later hearing, so they're not able to send a message.
Okay.
All right, let the record show then that there is no one present to speak for the public hearing.
If there's no
Public hearing be closed.
second,
I have a motion by
Goff.
Goff, sorry, and second by Mr. Whitaker to close public hearing. All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is now closed. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Wiley or of the staff?
If there are no questions, I move we accept sketch plat plan approval and advance it to the preliminary plan stage.
Okay, I have a
Second.
motion, have a motion by Mr. Whitaker, second by Mr. Goff to accept staff recommendation and to move the sketch plan to the preliminary plan stage. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Thank you, gentlemen. Next item for public hearing is Baker Heights Fire Station.
This public hearing is a request for sketch plan advancement. It's the Baker Heights Fire Station, file 2008-174. The developer is Berkeley County Fire Station Board and the engineers Thrasher Group. It's located in the Arden District, tax map 5, parcel 71, and is located on New York Avenue, approximately 800 feet south of Apple Harvest Drive. This project proposes the development of an approximately 18,000 square foot fire station with rentable community space, parking lot, and new stormwater management facility to be served by public water and sewer. No waivers or exceptions have been requested. On October 15th, 2020, County Engineer Dirk Sandberry issued a letter of approval stating that a review of the above-mentioned project was completed and found to be in compliance with the Berkeley County subdivision ordinance. The sketch plan meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends advancement of the sketch plan to the preliminary plan stage.
Do we have anyone to represent the project, Baker Heights Fire Station? Sir, would you come forward and state your name?
Thank you. I'm Rob Melanie from the Thrasher Group. I'm here to represent the Berkeley County Fire Board and the Thrasher Group requesting Planning Commission's approval for advancement of sketch plat to the preliminary design stage.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Again, if you have questions or comments, please let us know. If you are on a Zoom line, please identify yourself and your comments regarding this public hearing for Baker Heights Fire Station.
I was able to confirm that the 2 attendees we have are representatives for later projects.
Okay.
The public hearing be closed.
Let the record show that there's no one to speak for the public hearing. A motion by Mr. Goff to close public hearing.
Second,
Second by Mr. Whitaker. All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Planning Commission members, do you have questions regarding the project?
If there are no questions, I move we accept the sketch plat requirement and move it to the preliminary plan stage.
A motion by Mr. Whitaker, and I believe a second by Mr. Goff, to accept staff recommendation and to advance the sketch plan for Baker Heights Fire Station to the preliminary plan stage. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Thank you, sir. Next item for public hearing is Amberfield section, Baker's Crossing.
Baker's Crossing Townhomes waiver was withdrawn by the applicant, so it remained on the agenda since we already advertised for it, but they withdrew their request and have submitted another request. So we'll go through that.
Okay, so the next item for public hearing is Amberfield Section 6, Phase 2.
Yeah, so it's a public hearing for request for final plat approval. Projects Amberfield, Section 6, Phase 2, lots 121 through 126 and 131 through 136. It's file 2010-282, tied to 05418. The developer is Highlands of the Potomac LLC, and the engineer is Fox and Associates. It's located in the Falling Waters District, map 14, parcel 11.15. Located on the west side of Kitchens Orchard Road, approximately 0.45 miles from the intersection of Braid Road. This project proposes 12 single-family residential lots on approximately 17 acres to be served by public water and private septic. The final plat meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends final plat approval contingent upon receipt of the surety in the amount of $178,620 even. Plat to be released upon receipt of that surety.
Okay, do we have anyone to represent the project?
Good evening, Steve Stianovich with Fox and Associates representing the applicant.
Thank you. Again, this is a public hearing for the project. If you have questions, please come forward, state your name and any questions you might have.
No one online.
Move the public hearing be closed.
Let the record show that there's no one to speak regarding the public comment. I have a motion by Mr. Goff, second by Ms. Norton, to close public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, planning commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Stianovich or of the staff?
If there's no comments, I move we accept the staff recommendation and approval of the final plat contingent upon receipt of the surety in amount of $178,000. I'm sorry, $178,620. And the plat will be released upon the surety, receipt of the surety.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Whitaker, second by Mr. Goff, to accept staff recommendation and to approve final plat approval contingent upon surety of $178,620. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you.
Next item for public hearing is Stone Mill lots 1 through 25.
Yes, this is a public hearing for a request for final plat approval. Project is Stone Mill, lots 1 through 25. The file is 2008-114, tied to 02906. The developer is Dan Ryan Builders, and the engineer is Fox and Associates, located in the attacking district, map 17, parcel 1, and is located on the north side of Swan Pond Road and on the west side of Rocky Marsh Run. The developer is proposing 25 single-family lots on approximately 73 acres to be served by private well and septic. There's also a remainder of approximately 23 acres located in Jefferson County. The final plat meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends final plat approval contingent upon receipt of the surety in the amount of $522,902 even. Plat to be released upon receipt of that surety.
Okay, do we have anyone to represent the project?
Steve Stianovich with Fox and Associates representing the applicant.
Thank you. Questions or comments from the public?
No, no.
Move public hearing be
Public
closed.
hearing be closed.
Second.
Okay, let the record show that there's no public comment, and a motion by Mr. Goff, second by Mr. Whitaker, to close public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is now closed. Planning Commission members, do you have questions regarding the project?
If there are no questions, I move we accept staff recommendation and to agree to the final plat upon contingent of receiving the surety and $522,902 even. And the plat will be released upon the receipt of the surety.
Have a motion by Mr. Whitaker, second by Mr. Goff, to accept staff recommendation and to approve the final plat contingent upon receipt of surety of $522,902. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you.
Okay, the next public hearing is Nadenbush Pines.
This is a public hearing for request for final plat approval. The project is Nadenbush Pines Phase 2, lots 26 through 45 and 61 through 67. It's filed 2009-243, tied to 4304. The developer is ILA Properties and the surveyor is Roberts Land Surveying. It's located in the Arden District, tax map 19, parcel 3.2. This project is located on Nadenbush Lane, approximately 1 mile east of its intersection with Route 11. The project proposes 27 single-family lots on approximately 17 acres to be served by public water and sewer. The final plat meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends final plat approval contingent upon receipt of surety in the amount of $425,490 even. Plat to be released upon receipt of that surety.
Okay, do we have anyone to represent Nadenbush Pines?
Good evening, Mike Roberts, representing the project.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Roberts. Again, this is a public hearing. It's your opportunity to make your questions or comments known. If there are no questions and comments, I guess we could close the public hearing.
Move to close public hearing.
Public hearing be closed.
Mr. Goff, Mr. Whitaker beat you to it.
I'll second it.
Okay, there you go. Thank you very much. Motion by Mr. Whitaker, second by Mr. Goff to close public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is closed. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of the staff or Mr. Roberts?
If there are no questions, I move we accept the final plat, meets the final plat requirements and release it upon the receipt of the surety in the amount of $425,490.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Whitaker, second by Mr. Goff to accept staff recommendation and to approve the final plat contingent upon receipt of surety in the amount of $425,490. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Motion carries. The next item on the agenda for a public hearing is Ridgecrest Phase 2.
This public hearing is a request for final plat approval. The project is Ridgecrest Phase 2, lots 27 through 33. The file is 2006-006. The developer is GH Real Estate LLC and the surveyor is Roberts Land Surveying. It's located in the Arden District, tax map 16, parcel 6, and is located on the west side of secondary Route 19 and approximately 7,200 feet south of its intersection with secondary Route 19/1. This phase proposes 7 single-family lots on approximately 12.6 acres to be served by public well and septic. Final plat meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends final plat approval contingent upon receipt of the surety in the amount of $202,416 even. Plat to be released upon receipt of the surety and signed developer's agreement.
Okay, do we have anyone to represent the project?
Mike Roberts, representing the project.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. If you have questions or comments, please let us know.
So it's not public well, it's private well. It's just a typo. So it said it was gonna be certified public well, it's private well.
I wondered how they got a public well.
It was just a typo.
We had one, but you have to go to class and learn how to.
Okay, this is
Treat
a
it.
public hearing. Questions or comments? Anybody have them?
No one
online?
asking to speak online.
Anyone in the room have questions or comments regarding the project?
If not, I move.
Public hearing be closed.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Goff, second by Mr. Whitaker, to close public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is now closed. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Roberts regarding the project?
If there are no questions, I move we accept staff recommendation and to approve the final plat upon receipt of the surety in amount of $202,416.
Okay.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Whitaker. Is that second by Mr. Goff?
Yes.
Okay. To approve the final plat contingent upon receipt of surety in the amount of $202,416. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda for public hearing is Communities of Burwell.
So this public hearing is also a request for final plat approval. Projects Communities of Burwell Phase 6, lots 461 through 470. It's filed 2009-214 tied to 02106. The developer is Burwell Properties LLC and the surveyor is Roberts Land Surveying. It's located in the Falling Waters District, tax map 13, parcel 10.4, and is located on secondary route 8, approximately a mile from Knight Farm Road. The final plat proposes the development of 10 townhouse lots on approximately 1.4 acres to be served by public water and sewer. The final plat meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends final plat approval contingent upon receipt of the surety in the amount of $82,110 even. Plat to be released upon receipt of that surety.
Okay, do we have anyone to represent the project?
Mike Roberts, representing the project.
You've been busy, Mike.
Yeah. We're getting lots of money for it. Okay, this is a public hearing. If you have questions or comments, please let us know them at this time.
Move public hearing be closed.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Goff, second by Mr. Whitaker to close public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is now closed. Do you have questions, Planning Commission members, of Mr. Roberts or the staff?
If there are no questions, I move we accept staff recommendation and to approve the final plat upon receipt of surety in the amount of $82,110.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Whitaker, second by Mr. Goff to accept staff recommendation and to approve the final plat contingent upon receipt of surety in the amount of $82,110 and no pennies. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you.
Been a pleasure doing business with you, Mr. Roberts. Oops, you're not done.
Mm-mm.
This is a public hearing for request for final plat approval. The project is Elizabeth Station, Section F, Phase 3C, lots 184 through 191, 232 through 237, and 251 through 258. It's filed 2007-029, tied to 05007 and 11905. The developer is Larry Faircloth Realty, and the surveyor is Roberts Land Surveying. It's located in the Mill Creek District, map 9H parcel 16 and map 9 parcel 16. The project's located on the west side of Willis Drive, approximately 1,000 feet from its intersection with Henshaw Road. And this project proposes 22 single-family residential lots on approximately 12 acres to be served by public water and sewer. The final plat meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends final plat approval contingent upon receipt of the surety in the amount of $143,670 even, plat to be released upon receipt of that surety.
Mr. Roberts,
Mike Roberts, representing the project.
thank you. Planning Commission members, or public hearing. Where is our public hearing people?
The public hearing be closed.
Hold on.
Hold on a minute.
There were two people on the whole time that are representing projects. There's another person that just joined us, Angela Taylor. So I'm not sure, Angela, are you interested in this project's public hearing?
It's Burwell.
Excuse me?
Oh, it was Burwell.
Oh,
So it was Burwell.
oh. We already closed the public hearing.
I did. I was on the telephone. Something. I don't know what's going on with my internet. So I did hear you on the telephone.
Yeah, you must have Frontier.
I don't know. Yeah.
Do we want to take our comments regarding Burwell?
We already made the motions.
It's,
Closed, I'd say, yeah, I don't know if you want to your comments later on about something.
So that's So that's all right. I'm all right.
You okay?
Okay.
So I'm all right for the moment.
Alrighty. Well, I guess if you have questions, you may want to make them known to the staff.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Back to Elizabeth Station. We have
I
nobody.
still move to close the public hearing.
Okay.
Second?
Motion by Mr. Goff to close public hearing. Second by Mr. Whitaker. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is now closed for Elizabeth Station. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Roberts with staff?
If there are no questions, I move that we accept staff recommendation and to approve the final plat upon receipt of the surety in the amount of $143,670.
Second.
Who's that?
That was Tim.
Tim. Okay, I thought you woke up there. I thought you were sleeping.
Who?
You're just listening to us, aren't you? Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Whitaker, second by Mr. Lewis to approve the final plat for Elizabeth Station pending receipt of surety in the amount of $143,670. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, that concludes our public hearings. The next item on the agenda is preliminary final plat approval for Rankin Physical Therapy.
Like Linda said, this is a request for preliminary final plat approval. The project Rankin Physical Therapy, file 2010-229, or 291, I'm sorry. The developer is Rankin and Associates and the surveyor is Fox and Associates, located in the Hedgesville District, map 27, parcel 490. This project is situated east of Roaring Lion Drive, north of Route 9. This project proposes the creation of one 1.43 acre parcel with existing features served by public water and private sewer, and one 2.15 acre residence parcel. County Engineer Dirk Stansberry issued approval on November 24th, 2020, stating a review of the above mentioned projects had been completed and was found to be in compliance with the subdivision ordinance. This project is found to be complete in compliance with the 2009 Berkeley County subdivision regulations, and therefore staff recommends approval of the preliminary final plat.
Do you have anyone to represent the project?
We have Alex Schiffler online.
In the event Alex Schiffler has technical difficulties, Linda, I'll represent the project in person.
Okay,
But I will defer to Alex to answer any questions.
okay,
Thank you.
all right.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can
Yes.
hear you. Thank you, Mr. Schiffler.
Okay.
Okay, I have a question regarding existing features.
Okay.
What might the existing features be?
That's in
The
this. Go ahead.
the features on lot one, the physical therapy and the parking, that's all existing. So there's no development plans. That's already what you see is what it is.
That's pretty clear. Okay, so you're saying the existing features is basically the parking lot?
Yeah, the building, that's all there as, and that was, I believe that was the, all, part of 1120. I think that was what that was, project was. That predates me, but, so all that's existing together as one, on one parcel
Okay.
today.
All right, the other question I have is, it says private sewer.
And that's correct. I verified that today by looking at the plans and the submissions with Unique. And the current service is public water and private sewer. It doesn't happen often, but we do have some instances. That's the case.
That was gonna be my question too. I mean, I know it's available. Is it within 300 feet of the property?
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
If I may, I just want to clarify one of the earlier questions. Water was kind of shared drawing. Apparently, we're just like carving off, subdividing off the existing commercial, with the remainder being residential. But there's no plans to develop that residential at this time. Of course, that could go through the normal processes, sketch plan, preliminary plat, et cetera, et cetera.
So this is a brand new building then?
No, it's existing. It's just on a
Existing.
larger property.
That's part of the existing features, huh?
It is. It was an improvement on a property that was large enough, larger than what was needed to support the use.
Okay,
Probably be the best way to explain it.
but it's in that little shopping plaza there?
It is,
Wow.
but there's a much greater area properly than what the building needs to be self-sustaining in terms of parking, building, things like that.
Do you know anything, Mr. Schiffler, about the availability of public sewer?
That, well, the sewer, I guess they would not, actually file any paperwork until, there was an application and fee paid, which they weren't ready to do. But as far as the physical goes right there in front, you can see where the entrance is. There's, that's part of the sewer lateral, or the sewer main, I mean.
And that would be for the residue. Not
Residue,
Okay.
correct. And the lateral is actually shown on there to the existing lot 1. So, those features are shown on this drawing.
I don't know if Alex can hear me. I assume he can. Is
Yeah, I can hear you, Steve.
is the intent for the existing lot to connect the public sewer?
Mr. Schiffler?
The intent is to tie into the sewer that's there, and then I guess it eventually, I'm not sure exactly how that system works, if it goes eventually into the public, or if it's all a self-contained system.
When y'all checked it, did the health department have a septic field for that, for the existing physical therapy? I can't think it does.
Yes, obviously, pretty good.
Dirk, can you come up to the microphone because the people online can't hear you unless you're talking to them.
The answer is yes, but not in this case,
Okay,
because the back end of the property is also encumbered by stormwater easements. So the only logical place for a on-site is already occupied. But with the proximity within probably 300 feet, they're gonna be required to hook into
it,
the
okay.
system anyway. Even if not by gravity, maybe a little help.
E1, right,
But they will eventually be tying in if it's ever developed.
okay.
Well, who's going to monitor that?
You have to bring in a site plan.
Not the existing building.
I think the question's on the existing building.
Yeah, this one's resident. The existing building's already served. It's already functioning in use.
Mm-hmm.
That's public sewer.
Yeah, it's.
Okay, that answers my question.
Yeah.
Okay,
I wasn't aware. I read it.
yeah, okay,
Residue is the only thing that's still a question.
okay. All right.
So,
It will be, I doubt that it'll be served by private septic. It'll have to be public sooner or later. Okay, that makes sense.
okay, so the building itself that you're using for the business
PT,
is on public sewer.
correct. It'd have to be.
That already has existing service,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
All right, then,
Okay, so that was a discrepancy on the plat then in the notes. So that's why
What-
that was on the staff report that way.
Okay. I would almost think it would have to, because I think when all that was developed out there 15, 18 years ago, all those lots had already been serviced by laterals to them. So I would almost think you would have to have.
So it might be something
Can I
on,
ask a question?
Sure.
I'm sorry, Jack, you go first.
Yeah, again, the evolution of that, the food line development did not include this. So those properties with the subdivision that goes
Forward,
east
east,
of
okay.
Roaring Lion
Oh, east.
developed
Okay.
later, and this is one of the lots off of that.
Okay.
There was some stormwater discharge easement on that corner, but it, and again, it was the same developer through the whole project, but when that food line project went in, this was not one of the outlets.
Okay. Clear as mud.
yeah, it's just.
well, and Steve and Alex will need to coordinate with you to double check because of all these comments that the preliminary plat that Linda's going to sign has the correct reflection of private sewer, public sewer,
The
because it
disposition of the
says,
existing sewer for lot one, is that the question?
Where the
Right.
physical therapy place is.
right, so there's something in the notes that led Monique to write the staff report the way it was written. So there may be one note that needs to be,
And it can be answered with one quick phone call.
right.
Yeah, I can see how two is, it can be worked on. I can see that. So we can,
I assume the Mylars and prints are in your possession tonight.
I believe so.
Could I take a quick look at those after the meeting? Would you rather I make an appointment tomorrow?
They won't get signed until tomorrow anyhow, so
I guess-
You can look at them so you can run them tomorrow, but
I guess what I was getting at, if there was an error and we need to replace what you have in your shop here,
I'll look
I'd
at
like
it
to
with
take
you.
the old. Thank you. Dirk has a short-
sorry to cause all this problem, folks.
well, I gotta
Better
get it right.
before you
Fine.
sign than
Just
after.
Make sure it's right.
Well, yeah, the records need to reflect accurate information. Okay, now that we've cleared all that up, I have a motion.
Yes, ma'am. I move we accept staff recommendation and that, recommends the approval of the preliminary final plat.
Second.
I'm sorry, who was my second?
It could have been me or it could have been,
Either one, it doesn't matter. Somebody.
Nick Deal.
Me is a hard one to figure out here.
Me is Nick Deal.
We'll give it to Nick.
There you go.
We'll give it to Nick because he hasn't said anything all night. Okay. Motion by Mr. Whitaker, second by Mr. Deal to accept the staff recommendation and to approve the preliminary final plat with any corrections that need to be done. Okay? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Next item on the agenda is Dillon Farm.
This is a request for preliminary plan approval, project Dillon Farm, file 2008-127, tied to O2719. The developer is SMR Holdings LLC and the engineer is Gordon, located in the Hedgesville Tax District, map 28, parcel 1, and it's located at the southern intersection of Route 9 and Roaring Lion Drive in Hedgesville. This project proposes 118 single-family detached, 101 single-family attached homes on approximately 61.1 acres with an approximate 56.4 acre residue to be served by public water and sewer. At the October 12, 2019 Planning Commission meeting, the developer was granted waivers to Article 2, Section 201, reducing continuous attached single-family units permitted in a SIC from 3 to 2 to allow for duplexes on individual parcels. And Article 5, Section 504E, Table 5.3, reducing the lot width for a single-family detached residence from 75 feet to 60 feet. On November 3rd, 2020, County Engineer issued a letter of approval stating that a review of the above-mentioned project was completed. and found to be in compliance with the Berkeley County subdivision ordinance. The preliminary plan meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends advancement of the preliminary plan to final plat stage.
Is there a public hearing?
No.
No. I mean, there won't be a public hearing scheduled at the final plan?
Final plat, yes, not tonight. The next step is final plat determination, and there's no public hearing for that, but at the final plat determination, that's when you set.
Okay. Do we have anyone to represent, Dillon Farms?
Yes, Ryan Perks from Gordon.
Thank you. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Perks or of the staff?
If there are no questions, I move accept staff recommendation and recommend the advancement of the preliminary to final plat.
Second.
I have a motion from Mr. Whitaker, excuse me, second from Mr. Goff, to accept staff recommendation and to advance the preliminary plat to the final plat stage. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Next item on the agenda is Highview Estates.
This is a request for final plat determination. The project is Highview Estates, Phase 1, lots 11 through 16. The file is 2007-034, tied to 817. The developer is P&K Holdings LLC, and the engineer is Gordon. It's located in the Hedgesville District, map 40, parcel 28, and is located at the northwest corner of Tuscarora Pike and Thatcher Road intersection. The developer proposes 6 single-family lots on approximately 10.7 acres to be served by private well and septic. At the June 5th, 2017 Planning Commission meeting, the developer was granted an exception to Section 705 requiring sidewalks. County Engineer Dirk Stansberry issued a letter on October 19, 2020, stating that a review of the above-mentioned project was completed and found to be in compliance with the Berkeley County subdivision ordinance. The final plat meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, therefore staff recommends final plat determination and advertising of a public hearing for consideration of final plat approval at the January 4th, 2021 Planning Commission meeting.
Do we have anyone to represent the project?
Ryan Perks from Gordon.
Thank you, Mr. Perks. Planning Commission members, do you have questions of Mr. Perks or of the staff?
If there are no questions, I move accept staff recommendation and schedule the public hearing for the final plat approval on January the 4th, 2021.
Second.
Motion from Mr. Whitaker, second from Mr. Goff, to accept staff recommendation and to advertise public hearing for final plat approval on January 4th, 2021. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. That concludes everything on the agenda except for staff, council discussion, action, and motion.
Well, we discussed last time how to deal with some of these plan changes that are coming down because of MS4 requirements, and I drafted and sent a letter which is narrower than what Dirk, I think we were talking about last week, in terms of some other changes, but it's just saying that this is I think staff, because it's coming from, it's not contemplated anywhere, it's coming from outside, it's coming from MS4 requirements. They're not actually making the changes themselves, but it's really just an administrative process. There's no reason. Anybody have anything else they want to add about that?
Did that memo go to anyone other than who it was addressed to? Did the rest of the planning commission members get that memo that you wrote?
I sent it to the planning commission members.
Okay.
some staff people here.
Okay. So all the planning commission members, you got Mr.
Delegated.
Elgotti's memo?
Yes, this afternoon.
And I also sent it to Zach Walbrook.
With,
We discussed it.
Okay. All right. Heather, do you have anything?
I have nothing else.
I do.
Okay.
And thanks for working on that. And with the new ordinance, we move through that, we get a real fine line where these things will go from being administrative to where we get a good definition. I probably will be out next time there's a meeting, recouping from some shoulder surgery. So, for all intents and purposes, this is my last meeting with you all. And something hit me kind of nostalgic here. Elizabeth Station, I started with Tom Berry and Larry Fairclough and Linda. You were sitting there in the other room, in the other building, and we lost on, and the situation with Larry, as sad as that is, and just thinking of people that pass through here, who touched me and I touched them. So I want to thank you for the opportunity to come and talk to present the county. And I would like to say thank you. I'm not going to go away, but I'm not going to be in this official capacity any longer. And then things like Food Line. I did Food Line before I knew why it had screwed.
I thought you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, again, I just wanted to thank you for tolerating.
Remember when
Is this your farewell speech?
Kind of.
Okay. Very good. You did a good job.
Well enough.
Do you remember when the pickup truck got stolen out there on the job site that day?
I remember when they were going to take the Thomas boys away and handcuffed the sheriff when he broke into the sewer line.
Yeah.
I imagine there's a little book that you could write, huh? I know I could.
I'm sure it's a bigger book than the little one.
My first recollection of you was actually saying, "Now, Mr. Berry," and you were pointing. I don't know what you were pointing out, but I'm thinking, "Now, Mr. Berry."
We've been through a lot, haven't we? It's been a good ride. Thank you so much for your service, Dirk. It's greatly appreciated.
Dirk kind of was started before I got on the planning commission the first time, so I've been involved in this county, whether it be on the ambulance authority, the planning commission, or as a councilman, for over 23 years.
I got you beat.
Yeah, I know.
But then I'm a lot older.
No, you're not a lot older.
Okay, if
Just
we
more
don't have
experience.
anything else,
Motion to
Move to
adjourn.
adjourn.
Second.
motion by Mr. Goff at 10 minutes till 7 to adjourn. Second by Mr. Whitaker.
not the engineer.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, planning commission members. We'll hope to see you again at our next meeting.
Hey, Nick, are you